Welcome to the American Chronicles. I'm Vlad Davidiak. In celebration of a day long awaited, Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2017, the Harris County Republican Party held a watch party to observe and celebrate the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump at Ninfa's, a Houston institution for TexMex cuisine. I spoke with former Judge Clyde Leuchtag, County Chair Paul Simpson, and Houston Young Republican member and realtor Morad Fiki to get their thoughts on the events of the day and their expectations for the future. I also provide running commentary during the inaugural address as delivered by President Trump. Coming up next on the American Chronicles. Here with former Judge Clyde Leuchtag at the Harris County Republican Party Inauguration Viewing Party. Judge Leuchtag, what are your thoughts this morning on the inauguration, which would happen in about another 2 hours?
I think I'm hopeful, like a lot of people are hopeful, that we can finally get what we want, which is government officials that care about the people and are looking out for the interests of the people, not just trying to line their own pockets, not just trying to get more power, more for themselves. That's what we all want. We want that every election cycle. We want people that are going to take their job seriously, care about people, and do what they're supposed to do as a government official. And that's what President Trump has promised to do. And there's a lot of hope, in my opinion, from a lot of people like myself, that we're finally going to see government, working for the people.
You have President Obama leaving office now today at 12 noon. You're an African American. He is the first African American president. Does that have any special significance to you? And does his 8 years as president, does that have special significance to you as well?
Well, I think the significance of him being the first African American president is the fact that our country elected an African American president. That's a milestone. But as far as his policies go, he was taking the country in a direction that I completely disagree with. And I think, like many people in this country, we like him personally as a person, but his policies and his worldview and inability to self-correct and be self-critical, self-aware, I guess is what I'm looking for, take responsibility for things, is just very frustrating. So I think a lot of people are very happy and relieved that there's a new administration and have a lot of hope that administration is going to be different. They're not going to be in an ivory tower. But absolutely, it was a milestone in this country that there was an African American president elected for 2 terms.
Thanks very much, Judge Leuchtag.
Thank you very much.
Joined now by Paul Simpson, who's chairman of the Harris County Republican Party, here at the Ninfa's on Navigation, where the Harris County Republican Party is holding its inaugural viewing party. Paul Simpson, thoughts on the first day of the Trump administration?
Well, it's a bright, sunshiny day. I guess it's a great metaphor for America. It's here in Houston. I'm glad I stayed here. I've been to inauguration before. I wanted to be here at home and with the troops, and I think Republicans are pretty excited today. It's kind of fun to see this, and a huge, diverse crowd. I think we're showing. I think America will find out, and those who have doubts find out that really this is going to be a good term for America. And with the incoming administration, its signs are that's just a tremendous amount of promise.
What are your thoughts on the outgoing administration? Obviously, the Obama administration did a lot of things that Republicans and conservatives were deeply opposed to, and in a very real way, the Trump administration comes in almost entirely opposite point of view. So, with regards to the outgoing Obama administration, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think, needless to say, on a whole host of policies, from domestic to social issues to foreign policy to economic issues, I think that the Obama administration was a disaster for America. And part of the reason was, I think, the arrogance and hubris that Obama had coming to office, wanting to fundamentally transform this country as a country with centuries of traditions, a long-standing institutions, and Americans are liberty-loving people, and he ran counter to that, trying to almost single-handedly, as we saw, try to alter America. Now, so a lot of what he did, the Americans pushed back, starting in 2010, with the Tea Party wave. And so I think at the end it became sort of sad. It was just him, as he said, with a pen and a phone. So a lot of what he was trying to do was push on a string without really building a consensus. And I think, and because there wasn't a consensus, and gives us opportunity then to undo a lot of that damage pretty quickly.
What are your, obviously it's a great thing, but what are your thoughts on having full GOP control of the government, White House, both houses of Congress, potentially the Supreme Court coming up with the first appointment?
It's just, I'm almost giddy.
Me too. I think everyone in this room is actually on the border of that.
That's right. And it's, as a friend of mine said, it's almost like Christmas every day since the election. But particularly with the cabinet that he's appointing the most conservative cabinet that we've had ever, possibly. It was a more conservative cabinet than Reagan had. And what's interesting to watch Trump, I can see him as a CEO. He doesn't get down in the weeds on policy, so I think you're going to see disagreement in the administration, but it's a healthy kind of disagreement where people with different views but generally aligned with each other say this is the right solution or that's the right solution. So I think you're also going to see increasing cooperation between him and Congress. Again, they're not going to agree on everything, but by and large we're going to be heading in a great conservative direction. Just everything I read, as you said, from the proposed Supreme Court appointments to the proposed budgets that are coming in, it's just going to be a breath of fresh air, and it's going to be good for America.
Now, I know that having Donald Trump on the ballot in 2016 was really challenging, not only in Harris County but across America. So he has 2 years to really make a case for improving those chances. What do you see in 2018 being needed from Trump to actually help the ballot in terms of the local races in Harris County?
Well, that's a good question. I think I think Republicans are going to come home if what we've seen so far is a sign. Now, the next 2 years, who knows what's going to happen? In 2001, I can tell you, nobody saw 9/11 coming, by and large. So there could be events that really change things. But aside from the black swans that may show up, I think we're going to see a growth of conservatism. I think conservative principles will be put in place. And I always tell people, the more America looks like Texas, the better off we are. And Texas is a very successful place run under conservative principles. So I'm confident that as those principles come into place, people are going to find out maybe we really do have a better plan and better solutions for America. The other thing you think we're going to that's helpful with a lot of people who didn't trust Trump from the Democrat side or swing voters. And I think it's also going to have Republicans come home. Because, as you said, a lot of Republicans across the country were reluctant to support Donald Trump. He wasn't a traditional Republican. So, but signs are so far he's just going to win them all over, I think.
This is really an opportunity for him really to not only make a case for himself as president, but to really allay a lot of those fears. Because I think a lot of Republicans were actually reluctant to support him because they did not, number one, they didn't really know what he stood for. Number two, they weren't sure he was going to win. But now they have an opportunity to have both of those things answered. So in a very real way, we could actually arrive at a point where, like you say, they come home.
I think that's going to happen. Republicans will come home. At the same time, some of the hysteria that the left has whipped up, convincing people that they're going to be deported tomorrow or they're going to lose their health care today, none of which is going to happen. And then they're going to find out maybe this isn't such a bad guy. Maybe this administration is not going to do all the horrible things they were told. So that's going to be down to our benefit as well. So not only I think will Republicans come home, I'm hopeful, but also and confident they will, but also we're going to win over a lot of other voters who have had a lot of other voters who were kind of scared about what's going to happen. So I'm real optimistic. Look forward to what's coming.
Thanks very much, Paul.
All right, man, thanks.
Watching the inauguration, and Vice President Mike Pence has just walked out to the Capitol balcony to begin the inauguration process. Earlier we saw all the former presidents and the members of the congressional leadership come out. To varying degrees of applause. There was a scattering of boos whenever Obama and Biden emerged, but not anything significantly measurable. Mike Pence is shaking hands with everyone. The fanfare has sounded. President-elect Trump has been announced, and he is being escorted down the steps onto the balcony.
President-elect of the United States, Donald John Trump.
Lots of enthusiasm from the crowd as he emerges. Certainly some very much excitement on the part of many people. Trump shaking hands with people as he walks down the aisle, giving his wife Melania a kiss. Michelle Obama kiss, embracing Obama, shaking his hand, shaking hands with Vice President Joe Biden. Truly a unprecedented and just a few months ago unimaginable event. Huge crowds there on the screen. Crowd here at Ninfa's is applauding. I'm joined now by Morad Fiki, who noted Houston realtor, member of the Houston Republicans. Morad, as an American who was deeply supportive of Donald Trump during the campaign, what are your thoughts today?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I was a Donald Trump supporter since day one. Since when he announced his candidacy, he was always my top pick for the presidency, and for him to win and have someone in office who cannot be bought by the special interests. He's going to do the best thing for the country, and I'm just so excited.
You had an opportunity to work on the campaign as a volunteer and to speak with people and to travel and to participate in different rallies. What's been the one takeaway you've had from this election?
I think this is a historic election because it's unlike any other. I mean, you have an outsider who came in, who's never been in elected office, who came in from the outside and won not only the nomination but the general election. I think it's just powerful. It's saying something that the people want change. And I was on the Texas for Trump when we first started here in Texas, and this movement has grown so huge. So I think it just shows that people want change.
Thanks a lot, Morad. Chuck Schumer now speaking about the challenges facing the country, talking about how faith in the government can erode, he says. It seems that perhaps that's his primary concern. Obviously misplaced. and mistaken.
Decent people. Whatever our race, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, whether we are immigrant or native born, whether we live with disabilities or do not, in wealth or in poverty, we are all exceptional in our
This is inane.
fierce devotion to our country.
What
And in our
particularly
willingness to
vapid views.
sacrifice our time, energy, and even our lives
It's ridiculous.
to making it.
Associate Justice Clarence Thomas is about to deliver the oath of office to incoming Vice President Mike Pence. Let's listen in.
Vice President-elect, would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Michael Richard Pence, do solemnly swear
I, Michael Richard Pence, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
The crowd is very appreciative. Mike Pence is now the Vice President of the United States.
Justice of the United States John G. Roberts.
Chief
Jr.
Justice John D.
will
Roberts is
administer
about
the
to
presidential oath of office.
administer the oath of
Everyone please
office
stand.
to Donald J. Trump.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
The crowd here is exploding in enthusiasm. Very excited. Trump shakes hands with Obama and Biden. Hugs his family. Waves to the crowd. 21 gun salute in the background. Huge crowd. I'm going to pause for now until the inaugural address starts. Trump is being introduced by Senator Roy Blunt, is about to deliver his inaugural address.
Chief Justice Roberts, President Carter, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, fellow Americans, and people of the world, thank you. We, the citizens of America, are now joined in a great national effort to rebuild our country and restore its promise for all of our people. Together, we will determine the course of America and the world for many, many years to come. We will face challenges. We will confront hardships, but we will get the job done. Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. And we are grateful to President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama for their gracious aid throughout this transition. They have been magnificent. Thank you.
Don't know why, but a military officer just ran down the steps and put something down behind
Today's ceremony,
President
however,
Trump.
Has very special meaning because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another.
President Trump is now surrounded by military officers. Don't know why.
We are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. Politicians prospered, but the jobs left and the factories closed. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. Their victories have not been your victories. Their triumphs have not been your triumphs. And while they celebrated in our nation's capital, there was little to celebrate for struggling families all across our land.
It's very unusual that there was a lot of activity right behind the president. Some military officers still don't know what happened there.
Right here and right now, because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
Crowd here at Ninfa is very receptive to the message of the inaugural address.
It belongs to everyone gathered here today and everyone watching all across America. This is your day. This is your celebration. And this, the United States of America, is your country. What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again.
A very strong statement from President Trump. Definitely a populist message.
Men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer.
Direct appeal to white working class people.
Everyone is listening to you now. You came by the tens of millions to become part of a historic movement, the likes of which the world has never seen before. At the center of this movement is a crucial conviction that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Americans want great schools for their children, safe neighborhoods for their families, and good jobs for themselves. These are just and reasonable demands of righteous people and a righteous public. But for too many of our citizens, a different reality exists. mothers and children trapped in poverty in our inner cities, rusted out factories scattered like tombstones across the landscape of our nation, an education system flush with cash, but which leaves our young and beautiful students deprived of all knowledge. And the crime, and the gangs, and the drugs that have stolen too many lives and robbed our country of so much unrealized potential. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
It's definitely an appeal to return to law and order.
We are one nation, and their pain is our pain. Their dreams are our dreams, and their success will be our success. We share one heart, one home, and one glorious destiny. The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans. For many decades, we've enriched foreign industry at the expense of American industry, subsidized the armies of other countries while allowing for the very sad depletion of our military. We've defended other nations' borders while refusing to defend our own. And spent trillions and trillions of dollars overseas while America's infrastructure has fallen into disrepair and decay. We've made other countries rich while the wealth, strength, and confidence of our country has dissipated over the horizon. One by one, the factories shuttered and left our shores, with not even a thought about the millions and millions of American workers that were left behind. The wealth of our middle class has been ripped from their homes and then redistributed all across the world. But that is the past, and now we are looking only to the future. We assembled here today are issuing a new decree to be heard in every city, in every foreign capital, and in every hall of power. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
No subtlety there at all.
Every decision on trade, on taxes, on immigration, on foreign affairs will be made to benefit American workers and American families. We must protect our borders from the ravages of other countries, making our products, stealing our companies, and destroying our jobs.
This is definitely an appeal to an end of rampant globalization.
Protection will lead to great prosperity and strength. I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
It's definitely a statement on protectionism, maybe a little bit of isolationism thrown in too.
Winning like never before. We will bring back our jobs. We will bring back our borders. We will bring back our wealth. And we will bring back our dreams. We will build new roads and highways and bridges and airports and tunnels and railways all across our wonderful nation. We will get our people off of welfare and back to work, rebuilding our country with American hands and American labor. We will follow two simple rules: buy American and hire American.
Very, very positive response here.
And goodwill with the nations of the world, but we do so with the understanding that it is the right of all nations to put their own interests first. We do not seek to impose our way of life on anyone, but rather to let it shine as an example. We will shine for everyone to follow.
That's a indirect way to say signing City on a Hill.
Form new ones and unite the civilized world against radical Islamic terrorism, which we will eradicate completely from the face of the earth.
A direct reference to radical Islamic terrorism in an inaugural address. That is surprising.
Will be a total allegiance to the United States of America. And through our loyalty to our country, we will rediscover our loyalty to each other. When you open your heart to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice. The Bible tells us how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. We must speak our minds openly, debate our disagreements honestly, but always pursue solidarity. When America is united, America is totally unstoppable.
Yay! A very strong message from Trump.
There should be no fear. We are protected, and we will always be protected. We will be protected by the great men and women of our military and law enforcement. And most importantly, we will be protected by God.
After 8 years of leftism, this is a very refreshing speech.
Dream even bigger. In America, we understand that a nation is only living as long as it is striving. We will no longer accept politicians who are all talk and no action, constantly complaining but never doing anything about it. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. Yes. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it cannot be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America. We will not fail. Our country will thrive and prosper again. We stand at the birth of a new millennium, ready to unlock the mysteries of space, to free the earth from the miseries of disease, and to harness the energies, industries, and technologies of tomorrow. A new national pride will stir our souls, lift our sights, and heal our divisions. It's time to remember that old wisdom our soldiers will never forget, that whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood of patriots. We all enjoy the same glorious freedoms, and we all salute the same great American flag. And whether a child is born in the urban sprawl of Detroit or the windswept plains of Nebraska, they look up at the same night sky, they fill their heart with the same dreams, and they are infused with the breath of life by the same Almighty Creator. So to all Americans in every city, near and far, small and large, from mountain to mountain, from ocean to ocean, hear these words: you will never be ignored again. Your voice, your hopes, and your dreams will define our American destiny. And your courage and goodness and love will forever guide us along the way. Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you. God bless America.
Standing ovation here at Ninfa's from the crowd. President Obama says good job to Trump as he shakes his hand. Biden looked a little sad. Bill Clinton looks a little shell-shocked. Trump shaking hands with other people in the rows. Definitely a new day in America. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Check out my website, vladdavidjak.com, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, @VladDavidjak. If you're not following me yet, you're missing out. Please give the show a great rating and review on iTunes. It really helps other people find us when they're searching for a really good show. Until the next time, remember, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty, and freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction.